What it be, what it be, what it do, what it do. It's your boy David. I'm here with the Dave and Blue Show. This is episode 2. I am super thankful and excited to be here with you guys today. Thank you for all the support, all the comments, likes, subscribes, everything like that. You know, tell your mom, your cousin, and your bro. It's the Dave and Blue Show. So today we are going to be doing some pregame analysis on what I think Michigan needs to do to win this Week 6 matchup against the Washington Huskies. As you all know, that this is a rematch of the national championship from last year, in which we were victorious 34-13. So go blue. Let's get started with our analysis today. I have 4 points that I think are going to be pivotal for the Michigan Wolverines football team to beat the Washington Huskies in this rematch of the national championship. The first thing I'm going to say is our defense has to bend and not break. Washington can move the ball downfield, but they struggle in the red zone. In their last game, they played Rutgers, and they had 521 total yards, but they only had one red zone touchdown. So they are 116th in the country in red zone scoring touchdown offense. So that means that out of 134 teams, they are 116th, and that is not good. So basically, they can move the ball downfield. Our defense has to buckle in and be prepared for a fight and just hold them in the red zone. I think that our defense can do what they need to do as far as the pass rush goes to get to their quarterback, Will Rogers, who can throw it pretty well. He's a very veteran quarterback, like I said in our previous episode. And so he can move their offense, and they have some weapons. They have, solid receiver play. They have a pretty good running back. They have a receiver that transferred to Washington from Michigan, Giles Jackson. And so our defense just has to be prepared for those passing attempts that they're going to have, and our D-line needs to rush the quarterback, and they've been doing a really good job of that. Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, Josiah Stewart, Derek Moore, they're the best, if not one of the best defensive lines in the country, and also our backup guys that come in and benefit them as well. Rayshawn Benny is a backup defensive tackle who could be starting anywhere else in the country, might I add. Also, TJ Guy, our edge rusher, who played phenomenally last week in standing in for the injured Josiah Stewart. So, our defensive line has to really get to Will Rogers, make him uncomfortable, make it so he can't just throw the ball all over the field. And, our defensive backs, specifically in the middle of the field, our safeties, Quentin Johnson and Makari Page, have to be sound and ready to go because they will be facing routes over the middle of the field. As I was watching the highlights against Washington and Rutgers, they threw the ball over the middle quite a decent amount, quick slant routes, some post routes, it seemed like, just over the middle is where they thrive. They can also get it to the outside, so they did a few screens and things like that. So we just have to be prepared as a defense for the fact that the ball will be moving. They had 207 rushing yards, so they can run the ball as well. That's where Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham are going to make their money in the NFL one day, but right now they're holding it down for Michigan. So you got to, stop them down the middle, stop them on the outsides, make sure that they can't throw the ball over the middle and can't run, make them be one-dimensional either in the passing game or the running attack. And I think our defense can do that. All right, our second point is Alex Orji has to continually show improvement, which I believe that he has done, and it's going to be a test for him in this road environment in Washington to be able to really make some things happen. I think that he has shown steady improvement as far as his game goes. He started off with 32 yards for 7 for 12, and then this past week he had 84 passing yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Although the interception was on the stat sheet, it was honestly not that bad of a throw by him. It was more of an incomplete pass that turned into an interception because the ball bounced off of his tight end, Colston Loveland's hands, and it was a little bit behind him and hit his hands and bounced, essentially to the defensive back. So the key for Alex Orji is just, continually going through his reads, being able to maintain possession of the ball, which I believe he has done a much better job of than people think, considering he does have that one interception. But again, our offense has been moving pretty well in the first half and then just totally stagnant in the second half, and that's something we have to fix. So, as far as the offense goes, the quarterback position is the most important position, and I believe that Alex Orji is taking steps in the right direction, and I think that a good game for him this week, it may seem low it is low by most quarterback standards, but 11 for 17 for 110 to maybe 120 passing yards and a touchdown is going to do it for him, I think, along with obviously some rushing yards, which is a guarantee he's going to get some rushing yards because they have used him and will continue to use him because he is a threat on the ground as well. But, he's developing, he's growing. I think that he's, taking steps in the right direction. And more importantly, he's just not turning the ball over as much as people assumed or considered that he would. So I think that, sure, we're having a terrible pass offense, but at least it is not turning the ball over on top of not really moving. So I think that Alex Orji, having some designed QB runs is going to help him just being able to continue to grow. And I think to stay in the pocket a little bit. Obviously our pass blocking, our O-line is good, but our pass blocking could use some development. And so he's going to have to be able to be mobile, and that's why it's important, and it's good that he is back there and moving if he has to. So, our defense is going to have to bend and not break and hold Washington out of the red zone, but also if they get in the red zone, continue to hold them from scoring touchdowns, force them to kick field goals or miss field goals because I've heard that their kicker has been having some troubles these past few weeks. Alex Orji to continually improve in the passing attack. And then our third point is going to be our running game has to be efficient in the first and second half, because our offense lives and dies by the run game at this point. And so, we have to be able to have Kalel Mullings and Donovan Edwards and do their thing. Kalel Mullings is our main back. He's a strong guy, good runner, smart kid. He's really doing the right things out there, and that's why I believe he's RB1 right now. And then Donovan Edwards as well, having the coaching staff use him and Mullings on the field at the same time is something we saw for the first time against Minnesota, and I believe we could and should be able to see more of moving forward in this season. So, our run game has to be strong. Our run blocking from our offensive line is decidedly better than our pass blocking on our offense. So we just need more of that. We need more rushing yards and things like that to go our way. And Washington's defense allowed 184 rushing yards to Rutgers, which was spearheaded by their running back, Monangai. His last name is Monangai, and he's a solid runner. He gashed Washington on some runs. So I think that given the fact that even though Washington outgained Rutgers in yards, but Rutgers was able to win on the scoreboard, which is obviously where games are won and lost. So I think that as far as the running game goes, if we can have stability in our running game in the first and second half, as well as our defense in the first and second half, and our special teams in the first and second half, we can put together a whole game. 4 quarters is the dollar, and 4 quarters makes a football game. So we need a whole dollar this week. We need a whole dollar this week for us to be successful in our first road contest against the Washington Huskies in this rematch of the national championship. And then my final point is that the team just can't be overwhelmed by a loud and raucous crowd that's going to be Washington. Because Washington's fans don't easily forget things. And they clearly wouldn't forget that we beat them in the national championship last year pretty handedly. So we have to be stable and focused in an away environment, and a road environment is going to be a challenge and a test. So we have to put on those work boots, strap on the gloves, strap on a hard hat, and get ready to go, because we do have a real tough game coming up, a tough environment at an away game for the first time this season. But I think the guys are going to be prepared. I'm going to give you guys my score prediction. Again, I think Michigan's going to win the game 28-17. It's a matter of the defense locking down and a matter of Orji showing continual improvement, because the run game is going to be there, because we've been able to run the ball over all of our opponents for the most part, because that's just our MO. That's what we do. And so I think that if we can have some decent improvement from Alex Orji and some pass blocking and also our receivers to get some separation, I believe that we should have a pretty good game on Saturday. So I'll say that score is 28-17. Michigan wins it. I want to appreciate you guys for rocking with me and for watching the videos, and this is only my second video, so I'm excited to keep growing and moving forward and learning and just having a great time with you guys. So I appreciate everything. Tell your mom, your cousin, your bro to like, comment, and subscribe to the Dave and Blue Show. And you guys have a blessed weekend. Jesus loves you. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your mom, your cousin, your bro. This is the Dave and Blue Show. Have a good one and go blue.